What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about Fortnite's newest update. We actually got a really big update today that changed a lot with the game. We got a new POI. The heavy shotgun was unvaulted but completely reworked. We got the Mythic SMG. We got a few bug fixes that actually significantly change how the game plays. The SpiderMan Webslinger was nerfed in competitive. And we also got things like the Haven masks and the Foundation challenges being available later this week. If you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, remember to give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more from me and stay as up to date on Fortnite as you can. And if you want to watch me live stream, my Twitch will be linked down in the description down below. So we're going to start off with Covert Cavern. This is the new POI, and this is actually an IO controlled POI, and it is inside a mountain that's in between like Camp Cuddle and Logjam. So this mountain has been there the entire time, but the IO have taken it over, and there is a cave in there. Very, very reminiscent of how the Grotto was in Chapter 2, Season 2. It's inside of a cave. It's an AI controlled POI, and if you do kill the boss character in this POI, you will be given the Mythic Stinger SMG, which has higher damage but more recoil. Luckily, this Mythic Stinger SMG does not have a higher fire rate. A lot of the mythic weapons end up getting damage increase and fire rate increase, and that just really drastically changes the TTK of the weapon. But this mythic only has a damage increase, and since we've had recent nerfs to the Stinger SMG, this Mythic Stinger is basically going to be the old legendary SMG with more recoil. So while it is going to be very good, and it's definitely going to be something worth having, it's not going to be as game breaking as a lot of people thought, and a lot of people have like speculated that it would be. When you just hear Mythic Stinger SMG on paper, it sounds ridiculous, but since there isn't a fire rate change, it's actually not going to be that broken. So that is in the game, unfortunately, but it's not as bad as it could be, I guess. And if you are a fan of AI-controlled POIs, this is an IO POI, like I said, and they will attack you on sight. They do have pretty good loot, though. The IO will drop blue pump shotguns, or blue striker pump shotguns, and blue Stinger SMGs. So you're guaranteed a decent shotgun and a decent SMG if you come here and do fight the AI. So that is definitely worth something, as the lower rarity shotguns are really terrible. And for me personally, the blue is where the striker pump starts to feel like a little more reliable and a little more like usable. The heavy shotgun was also unvaulted as a part of this update, but it has been completely reworked from how it was in Chapter 1, and now it actually fires a slug. If you guys are unaware of how like shotguns work, there's buckshot, which is how shotguns typically work in Fortnite, where it shoots a spread of pellets, and then you get damage based on how many pellets you hit. And then a slug is a single projectile. Think of it like how any other weapon in the game is. You know, when you shoot a sniper, that one bullet does all of the damage. And that's how the heavy shotgun is going to be. You either will do all of your damage or none of your damage based on if you hit the opponent. You're not going to get any of those weird headshots where you get a headshot that does like barely any damage because you only hit one pellet to the head. If you hit the head, you're going to do a lot of damage. And the gold heavy shotgun max damage is 173, and it deals this up to 6 tiles away, I think. And it does have a decent amount of damage drop off over time, but the heavy shotgun will continue to deal damage up to 14 tiles away, which is pretty ridiculous for a shotgun in Fortnite. But at that range, it's doing like single digit damage, and it's really minuscule. Sounds overpowered in theory, but I don't think it's going to be that broken. This is going to be a weapon that's really hard to use. It's not going to be as good like hipfire wise as a lot of the other shotguns are. It's going to be interesting to see how this changes the game, and I will have a video on it like in the future once we've been able to play with it more with my like more concrete thoughts. But as it is right now, I think this is going to be somewhat of a high skill weapon, and a lot of people are going to like it and a lot of people aren't going to like it. You could kind of think of it like how the Deagle was before. The Deagle headshot for like 150, I think. But were you just hitting hipfire headshots all the time with the Deagle? No, not really, because it shot a single bullet, and that bullet had a decent amount of chance to miss unless you like actively aimed at the opponent. And if you took the time to aim, then you are going to be like not moving around, not getting height. There's a lot of things you give up by like prioritizing aim, and I think the same is going to be true with the heavy. One interesting thing is that they did add this to competitive. Typically, new items are not released in competitive right away, but the heavy shotgun is in comp, but the Mythic SMG is not, so that's kind of interesting. The SpiderMan Webslinger will now only have 20 uses in competitive, and they have fixed the bug where you kill somebody and then their Spider-Man drops max. I didn't even know this was a bug. I thought they did this intentionally. But let's say someone's Spider-Man had 60 uses and you killed them, and then went to pick up their Spider-Man, you would get 80 back from it. Like, it would just be max for you since you killed them. That was actually a bug, and it has been fixed in competitive playlists and normal pub matches. So when you kill somebody, their SpiderMan Webslinger will drop with the amount of uses that it had when they had it. So yeah, I guess that was a bug. I did not know that it was a bug. I thought it was intentional. Visual audio has been nerfed in this update to no longer show reboots across the map. It's a very good change. I still think visual audio is a little OP, and I feel like if it's there for hearing impaired players, that maybe if you turn on visual audio, it should just completely disable your normal audio as somewhat of a counterbalance, because I do think visual audio is like quite OP, and it does remove some skill from the game. Using sound to your advantage and interpreting player sound and predicting where they're going to go or what they're going to do based on that sound, I think is a skill, and turning on visual audio just completely nullifies that skill and makes everybody like really good at it, because they just have to look on their screen and they see exactly where people are going. So I think visual audio is still a little OP, and if you want to take advantage of it, go for it, but I still think it needs a few nerfs. The Haven masks have been unlocked in this update, and it actually works very similar to the tuna fish from last season. So you'll get feathers from chests that you open, similar to how there was paint with the tuna fish, and then you can do certain quests or certain challenges to unlock the ability to purchase masks. So you need feathers to buy them, and then you need to do the challenge to unlock the ability to purchase the mask, and then that's how you get the Haven masks. And then there's a bunch of different versions, similar to how we had the tuna fish. It's basically the same exact thing, but just kind of reworked to be Haven masks rather than a fish. Kind of interesting for players that want to unlock everything. It gives you something to go for, and it gives you more ways to customize Haven, which is nice. And also the foundation challenges will be unlocked this Thursday, and so you'll be able to complete them, get the foundation. There's a bunch of challenges to unlock different edit styles for him, his glider, his pickaxe, etc., and then unlocking him himself. But I know that's cool. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to unlocking the foundation, and you're going to be able to do that in this week's update. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you did find it helpful and informative, remember to give it a like and subscribe, like I said, and my Twitch was also linked down in the description. Pretty big update, makes me happy. Very reminiscent of how Fortnite was in Chapter 1, where we got these like huge updates that gave us a POI, a new weapon. Mythic guns weren't in the game at the time, obviously, but there's so much content added to this update and a lot of bug fixes that actually changed the course of the game. I'm really excited to get on and play. But let me know what you think of this updates down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.